So let's be honest. When we are beautiful living in these black bodies, the reality of it is people are trying to size you up. They're trying to decide if they want to pedestalize you or be your predator. Today we're going to be getting into the nit and gritty of the reality of the dehumanization of the black exotical. So the reality of it is, most people have never laid eyes on anything like you before. And for sure, if they have, it has never been in real life without a screen buffering it, without a filter or a figment of their imagination allowing their actual beliefs not to be really questioned. And just your physical vessel, the paradox of being black and beautiful, just that alone will rupture their programming, okay? So your skin, your symmetry, your smile, it's not just striking, y'all. It's unbelievable. Imagine being so beautiful that people don't even think that you're real. We don't have to imagine it because we live it every day. But that's the reality. And not only is it jarring to the average psyche, because remember, your black ass ain't supposed to have shit, but they also can't deny it's all fun and games when it's the unattractive, quote-unquote, dark-skinned girl. It's all fun and games when nobody takes the black women seriously because they're always complaining about their God-given gifts. But your striking beauty, not only is it unbelievable and not attainable for anyone else if God didn't give it to them, but they can't even fucking deny that your beauty isn't just jarring. It's like they can't look away, but it's upsetting and infuriating at the same time. So in a world where beauty can be curated, yours just creates chaos. Simply because, well, you weren't supposed to be this beautiful. Not while being this black. You mean you're the blackest motherfucker in here? Not the same black that's synonymous with trash and everything unholy. Not that black. Yet we can't deny. Yet we simply can't deny this beauty. Nor are you walking around expecting the world to interact with you in the same capacity that other black women show up as. Now, as quiet as it's kept, a lot of minority groups have internalized their own bigotry and are now operating out of a place where, baby, nobody needs to degrade you because you're doing a great job of it yourself. So when they interact with you and you're not seeking validation, you're not homeless, broken, and broke, you're not wearing someone else's hair, you're not insecure about your blackness like they told you you should be, bitch, how dare you? So not only weren't you supposed to be this beautiful, but bitch, you weren't supposed to be this beautiful while being this black. And not while being here, not amongst us, because we're supposed to be the beauty standard, not your black ass. So when they see you I mean, when they see you, it really scrambles something deep within. It's not just your beauty, though. It's the existence of it's the proof of your existence. It's not just your beauty, though. It's the proof of your existence. The proof that everything that they were told about desirability and darkness was a lie. Imagine society lying. So what happens? They see you. They want to pedestalize you. They want to be in proximity to you. They want to extract your resources. But they most definitely will not uplift you. But they will display you. They will dissect you. And they'll still try to keep you. A lot of people don't find power in themselves. So, as quiet as it's kept, as much as people are trying to convince you to abandon your beauty, to make them feel satiated, to keep you still. Because in their eyes, if you're that beautiful, well, you must not be real. You must not feel. You must not hurt. You must be some kind of goddess, robot kind of thingy that's life's never touched. Because you look so perfect that, I mean, you couldn't have gone through anything. I mean, you don't look like you've gone through anything. So of course you haven't. So here they come, trying to change that for you. Because of course they'd be the first and only insecure ass, self-esteem in the trash ass bitch that's wanted to let you know from the moment they've met you how insecure you make them feel. I'm always amazed at how insecure people can't wait to tell you how insecure they feel. So now here is where the danger and the bullshit ensue. You know, there is a look. I can't really articulate it besides a stare. It's like this mesmerizing stare that I sometimes get from men, children, and women. Usually when I get it from children and men, it's usually harmless. It usually won't affect my safety. But when I get this look from women, some bullshit is around the motherfucking corner. It's not but a matter of time. And it's about to get dangerous in this bitch. So once they put you on a pedestal, they don't see you as human no more. That's why for me, when I come into a new environment, baby, don't even compliment me. Especially if I'm at work, I set precedent with the first quote unquote compliment. Because a bitch will compliment you to death just to try to kill you. Oh, can I say that on YouTube? Anyways, I guess we finna find out. So when somebody compliments me in the workplace, I let them know that's really kind of you. But it actually makes me uncomfortable with you commenting on my appearance. Now, what does that do? It stops them in their tracks. First of all, they were already taken aback before. But they can't believe that you don't want they dusty buckethead ass validation. that also sends a message throughout the environment, especially if you're a manager or somewhere in management. It kind of sends that bird call to the entire space, letting them know, baby, you can keep your dusty ass compliments. It actually makes me uncomfortable when you comment on my appearance. And you need to stand in it. I make it a point to say no often and early. Just so you know, baby, we're colleagues. You don't have to compliment me. Before you seen me, I complimented myself 17 times before I walked in here, okay? So now, because they pedestalize you, they don't see you as human. And when people stop seeing you as human, they stop treating you like one. And suddenly, your pain is performative. Your boundaries are an attitude. Your trauma is too much for someone that's so perfect. The audacity of this black bitch having boundaries. Because remember, you're not supposed to have shit with your black ass. So the fact that you can say no, the fact that it might also be a hell no. You know, I think there are perks to being a regular colleague and being not in management, depending on your route, your career route and stance. Because you could kind of low-key just cuss your coworkers out and say raunchy shit when they say raunchy shit to you. And I appreciate that. Now, when you're in management, there is a lot more politics and red tape that you're just going to have to pivot through. If you're not comfortable just saying no, often and frequent. And even then, the workplace is still political. It is what it is. So the way you move and the way you groove, you're going to have to be playing chess from the time that you send out the application, baby. Don't even laugh too hard with these motherfuckers. In fact, let silence occupy the space. When they ask you where you're from, where your family's from, baby, 2 things I would suggest. Get out of your ego and let them underestimate you. Now, depending on where you are in your journey, that could be easy or it could be more challenging for some. Because get out of your ego as in don't let flattery eat your ass up. You don't want to be flattered by these people. You're going to need to self-validate because the reality of it is you're not human to most people. I'm sorry. I know I've cried about this too. So your friends, air quote, your colleagues, for some, even your family. Hopefully the call is not coming from inside the fucking house. But if it is, you know exactly what I'm discussing. Okay? So get out of your ego. And don't, when they ask you where you're from, let them know you don't discuss your personal life at work. And keep it at that. Oh, I don't discuss myself at work. And change the subject immediately. Repivot. So how's that ABC 1, 2, 3 going? You know, people love talking about themselves. Let them know nothing. Not a single motherfucking thing. Outside of the work, baby, they barely know what car you drive. Okay? Because essentially, they're going to build you up to break you down. So get out of your ego. Leave the flattery right the fuck where it's at. And let them underestimate you. And, God forbid you're good at your job. Jesus, Lord. God forbid you're not a dumbass bitch and you're a triple threat. Either way, people are going to be diminishing your character. People are going to be wondering how you do what you do. So you need to be taking notes at all times. Every day you leave work, you need to be at least doing a video documentation of just running through the day should anything have had happened. And you actually need to just do this just because, even if it's a quick 5-minute, that was kind of odd. Like, I couldn't really articulate what that meant, but I know it made my nervous system feel weird. Baby, just document it. It'll come in handy. Because if and when you quit and get fired, you better be leaving here with something, okay? I don't know about you personally, but baby, I'm from around the way. You not abusing me, for sure not for free, okay? I'm leaving here with something in this motherfucker. So, you absolutely need to be reading your employee handbook. You're going to flip to the section where it says benefits and leave. You're going to see all the leaves that are possible, babe. You want to know if there's bereavement leave. You want to know if there's COVID leave. You want to know if there is FMLA leave. You need to know what options you have. Because when shit hits the fan, your nervous system will need a break. And me personally, baby, like I said, I'm leaving here with something. At minimum, this EDD unemployment is getting approved. Me personally, EDD hate to see my motherfucking ass coming. And it's so funny because in this last filing I did with them, even my whole process changed. I'm like, y'all don't need to see the other documents I got? They like, nah. I'm like, you sure? They like, nah, baby, you already been approved. I'm like, baby, are you sure? Girl, you been approved, okay? They hate to see me coming. Because facts on facts breaking these motherfuckers' backs. Because it seems like there's a misnomer going around that you cannot quit your job and get unemployment benefits, which is a fallacy. I've done it multiple times. However, there are a few things that you're going to need to know. One, the burden of proof is on you, meaning that you need to prove. Now, I can't speak for all states. I haven't read the specificities in all states, but for my state, and I can't imagine it to be that much different from everywhere else, since this is a state and federal agency. However, in my state, it lists and specifies that no reasonable person would or could endure this type of treatment. Meaning, no healthy person would endure this bullshit. You don't either. You document what you need and you get the fuck on. Which is why it's so crucial for you to know your leave options. Because when shit start hitting the fan, baby, you know what? I'm gonna have to take my grandpa, my third cousin, far removed, 6 generations over, just passed away. So I'm going to need to take my bereavement leave. And companies will just ask you to fill out a mere document, pretty much asking who died and when it happened. That's kind of all. So, understanding that the burden of proof is on you to prove that no reasonable person would deal with this. So you need to just make sure you're documenting while you're on your way out, should that be the case. So when you quit EDD, I'm going to speak on my situations. So the moments I've quit and I filed for EDD that same motherfucking day, don't even wait another second. Baby, you send in that resignation and you also start typing up that EDD claim. So the first time I ever did it, I proved harassment. Now, this lady would just try to make my job harder for no reason. As I'm sure you guys have endured such behaviors. Baby, I could ask for a document. It would take me, she would tell me she didn't have the document. It would take me an additional 4 hours to find somebody with access to this document. Turns out the bitch had it the whole time. So, she was giving me the runaround. On my lunches and breaks, she would profusely knock on my office door. So I would go sit in her office. Literally, she didn't even catch on until it was time to catch on, and it was too late because I already had all my documentation. One thing about me, bitch, you always need to have your head on a swivel when you're dealing with evil people. When you're dealing with powerless people that perceive themselves without any power and whom are trying to take yours. Heads on a swivel at all times. So, when I went to my general manager to let my manager know that all these weird behaviors she was pulling, the general manager at the time, she tells me, oh, well, she does that to everyone. Mind you, this is an office full of women. Now, the only men that are around work on our engineering team. And at the time, I had office manager duties tied into my other duties. And it would literally infuriate this woman that when the men would come around, I would say, hey, such and such, can you pick this? Can you put this new water cooler, when you get water delivered and they have to, put it on a little thing? I would have the men do it, and she would literally fall out into a mental conniption like, you can't do it? Absolutely fuck not, bitch. Do I look like I lift heavy things? So the fact that the men wanted to help me would make her sick, okay? People from the property would literally come by my office just to fucking talk to me. literally have no business coming my way. But they just want to interact with me. Now, the fact that people notice that people are interacting with you in ways that they don't get interacted with is a problem. Not only were you already a problem, but now, bitch, you have the audacity to get special treatment? Oh, hell no. We don't approve that. So the second time I went to unemployment and got my benefits approved because I quit, I proved that they tried to change my wages, they tried to change my location, and then there was retaliation attached to me saying no. Because, bitch, I signed up for the location that was convenient for me. I'm not going to be a month in and you're switcherooing all of a sudden. Baby, I lasted in this environment 2 months and 16 days. And that was simply because I was just getting my ducks in order. Because like I said, man, I'm leaving here with something. Okay? Now, when I reached out to my director, I presented safety concerns. I had a direct report that was giving 5150. She was giving single white female. I let my director, my black fat ass director, know that I don't feel safe around this woman. And not only that, but I will not be working alone with her under no circumstance. Girl, the first time we worked together, she was following me around. Now, I've had some stalkers in my day. But that's another thing you're going to deal with. People invading your space. Because the audacity of you to have boundaries, bitch. Your blackness belongs to us. For us to consume. For us to denigrate. For us to pick apart. So how dare you say no? So anyways, when I reported this dust bucket head ass bitch let me know that she pretty much let me know what I said in one of those other videos. Imagine me presenting a safety concern and you let me know that, well, you take advantage of your loved ones too, so it's probably not that big of a deal. Baby, if you can, I want you to record all and every interaction, bitch. Every time you step into a meeting. And it's not necessarily to put them on blast. Not directly. Because sometimes, depending on your situation, your state, there are a lot of variants to this. But sometimes it actually might be illegal. Depending on HIPAA, all that old shit. Depending on your environment, your industry. But these are for your meticulous records, again. So, although we had a verbal conversation, you always want to make sure you're following up via paper. Okay? So, I knew a woman that her play with these jobs, she would take a medical leave. So she would start the job, and if the job was crazy or fucked up, she would just take a step back and take a medical leave. Now, with this method, you can't qualify for EDD because you're not unemployed. However, you, depending on your financial situation and your cushion and whatever you got going on, this might give you an opportunity to take a break and step back while you explore other employment opportunities. And I thought, this woman is genius. So when she shared this with me, we overlapped in this environment for 2 weeks at max. So I seen this lady maybe a few times, and then I never seen her again because she was on medical leave. Now, if you're wondering about any of these things, you're going to use ChatGPT to make your life better. ChatGPT will walk you through the process, baby. There's nothing to be scared of. I know it's unfamiliar territory at first, but eventually you'll master it. In fact, this might be your life's work. So, one day I'm at home on unemployment, and I'm watching Erica of the Classy Climb. Now, she's discussing Charleston. He's like a hood personality adjacent figure. But be open-minded, because you can learn from anyone, ladies, whether you're learning what to do or what not to do. Erica of the Classy Climb said how Charleston White has sued every company he's ever worked for. I said, sued every company he's ever worked for? That's me trying to find out what the fuck. Because that's me doing my research. So, baby, when I tell you I researched, I researched. So if Charleston White can sue every employer he's ever had for a minimum of 10 grand for safety violations, baby, you can too. And this is why you're going to need to know who the fuck OSHA is. And you're going to need to know who the EEOC are. Now, the EEOC process is longer than OSHA. OSHA is a 30-day turnaround. They investigate and they pay you out. I believe it's 10 grand per state or per claim or something. EEOC, though, it could take up to 6 months. However, claims can be mediated for larger than that 10 grand, depending on the transgression. This is extremely important because your pain needs to cost. When they run your red light, baby, you need to run it up on them. Hit them pockets. Because people don't care. It be the bitches in HR transgressing the most. I went to one of my HR people in one of these companies, which is another reason you don't work for small companies. There needs to be checks and balances. People need to be able to see what the fuck is going on, okay? When there's this phenomenon called the bystander effect. Now, it pretty much means that if there are 100 people watching a house burn down or something tragic happen in the neighborhood, and all these people are gathered, people will assume that the next person did it. The next person called for help. The next person is trying to find some sort of solution. So they don't have to. So they don't have to pick up the phone and make the hard call. So long story short, the whole house burned down because everybody's watching instead of contributing some assistance. So now nobody calls 911. So this assumption, so this phenomenon is crucial in understanding, because you need to know that statistically, people won't have your back. However, you may find allies and witnesses that are okay with speaking up, being your reference for your next job, and just being a sincere ally, okay? These are the people that kind of make your life easier at work while everybody's trying to make it harder. So you're going to need to know who those people are if you have them. But when you're in a smaller environment, statistically, you're just going to have less of them. Statistically, it just is what it is. So this is why I implore you ladies to find larger companies who have HR so that there are checks and balances. That'll be crucial because you have more eyes, therefore statistically better odds. Okay? I feel like this was supposed to be, I don't know how this turned into, can't stay on topic to save my life, bro. So, yeah, your head's gonna need to be on a swivel, but it'll take you about 2 weeks to get approved for your EDD claim, should you file that expeditiously and have all your paperwork in order. By the time you quit, if this is a quitting situation, you need to have everything that you need. You need to have all your documentation. I would recommend having a thumb drive where you can document emails. You can BCC your personal email. Because when shit hits the fan, you won't have anything. You won't have access to anything. Things can be shut down remotely. Your passwords and logins will no longer work. So before you send the final call and the final hit, your main priority needs to be making sure that you have your documentation, which is why you need to be playing the long game and pacing yourself on the daily so that you're not overwhelmed on the back end. Because all of it can seem really jarring, especially depending on your support system and what you got going on. So be kind to yourself. This is one of the ways that you're going to be kind to yourself and you're going to show up for yourself before shit gets erratic. Shit doesn't have to be deplorable and hit the fan for you to make moves to nurture and show up for yourself. You need to be doing it from day one. Because they already don't think you're human. So you need to be doubling down every day, all day, and pouring back into you. And one of those ways that you're going to be doing this is at least a 5-minute video documentation of any and everything that took place in the workplace that day. If you're a writer, bitch, do that. Whatever floats your boat. Just get her done, okay? Just get her done. There have been moments in my life where I wish I could just be invisible. Or I have wished, wow, I kind of just want to unzip myself out of this suit and step outside of my own skin for a second so that I can really breathe. Because as you know firsthand, like I know firsthand, this body gets followed, it gets fetishized, it gets sabotaged, it gets stalked. People would admire you from a distance but weaponize it up close. And this is why you need to move like a fucking socialite. Oh, baby, no pictures. That's why when bitches is complimenting me, yeah, that's kind, but actually that makes me uncomfortable. And you need to be using buzzwords. Because HR will understand that. I had a bitch that would interrupt my lunches. And I took her to HR. And she not only got fired, but I realized in that environment, I had only been there for 8 months. I had literally checked every bitch in the environment, whether I had to take them all the way up to HR or not. And it's like, you know what? That's why I'm leaving here with something. Because absolutely not. You don't just get to take from me. You don't just get to try to break me without consequence. You don't get to sabotage me and run my motherfucking red lights without having to pay a fucking fine. And you better make sure you tax their ass, bitch. Some of these women don't know if they want to be friends with you, wear your skin, or eat your motherfucking coochie. So heads on a swivel. They're going to try to fuck your money up. They will harass you. They will stalk you. There might be even, air quote, accidents that happen. This is that 5150 direct hire or direct report I had that I said, bitch, we worked together one time. I said, you know what? Hell no. She would literally go to management and tell them, like, every time I work with such and such, I can never find her. Cause hell no, of course you can. Bitch, are you retarded? I'd be working from somewhere else. I'm still in the building. But baby, if you need anything, just go ahead and send me a Slack. I wish you could see my face right now, and I wish I could tell you all that's gone on. But baby, I might be back with an update. So this is why you need to keep your head on a swivel at all times. These are not your friends. This is a political setting where they will try to ruin your name. Because the fantasy failed. They tried to treat you like you failed their fantasy. And oftentimes these behaviors kind of made me self-isolate. But what I've realized is, one, I'm growing in the wrong gardens. So this is a tricky dance because most people are predatory, and we're living in 2025 right now. People are complaining about the cost of eggs whilst driving luxury vehicles with no insurance, no car insurance, no life insurance, just living recklessly, okay? So people are angry. People perceive themselves with no power. And as quiet as it's kept, even though they try to convince you to abandon yours, they see your finance. In fact, they see it so hard they feel it, bitch. They feel your presence. They feel the essence. Which is why they're caught up in their comparison season. Which is why they're stalking, harassing, trying to get in proximity. All types of crazy. Most people are predators. Most people are predators. Most people are predators. And don't get me started on the queer confusion and exoticals, around exoticals. Because half these people are powerless and confused. That is a horrible space to be. So when women befriend you, they don't know if they want to actually be your friend, if they want to wear your skin, or if they want to lick between your legs, okay? They so confused. They don't know if they want to be you, fuck you, or befriend you. It's really dangerous. And it's spiritual warfare with a smiling face. I want you to know that. People are predators. People are predators. People are predators. 8 out of 10 motherfuckers you meet have no confidence. And don't worry, you'll find out immediately who's who. Because again, they cannot wait to tell you how insecure you make them feel. For some people, they can't control their emotions. For most women, they can't control their emotions. Which is why you need to keep your head on a swivel. And you're going to play into that. If you just want to live a quiet life, I would say this isn't the strategy for you. This is more so fighting fire with quiet ego. Because, baby, I'm going to let you have the moments. And even if I respond or not, because I think depending on what you're doing in the environment would depend on your options. But, baby, I'm leaving here with something. Like I said, I'm leaving here with something. So, if you see that it upsets a bitch, and you want to speed this process up, make sure you're continuously coming to the office dressed appropriately. Make sure your hair is done, your makeup is done, and you're in heels. Never abandon yourself. Never abandon your beauty. Never even allow a bitch to be in your vicinity that's ugly. Never even allow a bitch to occupy your space if she's ugly. Okay? But long story short, stop apologizing. Stop performing. Stop explaining. And start documenting. The more you want her to act out, the better you fucking look. Because these bitches be glitching. And then you document it all. And then you let people know that you felt unsafe. you're uncomfortable because this is highly inappropriate and you're going to need some emotional time, okay? This is why you need to be reading your employee handbook, because before you dip out, you need to have everything that you need. You need to be your favorite bitch. You, yourself, and I needs to be your top 3 priorities, okay? People are sadistic. People perceive themselves with no power. And because, well, you're too beautiful to be human, you're too perfect, so they have to punish you for it. They don't know if they want to pedestalize you, be a predator, or use you as a prop. So understand that you're living in a body that they want to break. And the reality of it is, they can't kill what they don't understand, which is why you don't share your personal information, which is why you don't even discuss yourself at work. Get out of your ego. They don't need to know where your family's from, baby. They don't need to know where you're from, where you grew up. Is that helping with the monthly reports? Is there some place on the documentation that asks that? Baby, heads on a swivel. If you guys have any questions in regards to EDD, OSHA, EEOC, let me know. Because baby, I'm leaving here with something. And low-key, I used to hate that for me. I used to hate that was my ideology. But you see, you tried to take my peace, baby. Furthermore, they want you to be ugly and stressed out like they perceive themselves to be. And baby, my stress is expensive, so you gonna have to put some zeros on it. And honestly, you can get in and get out in a month, baby. So this really depends on how you want to play it. It depends on what your goals are and what your fuck that to pain ratio is. Because like I said, I don't know about no other bitch, but baby, I'm leaving here with something. Oh, you thought I was gonna... Oh, baby, if the expectation is for me to eat shit, baby, we having a buffet in this bitch. So, baby, grab a fork, okay? Now, this was long as fuck. I was a little all over the place. But y'all let me know what y'all think. What has been y'all's experiences? Ladies, heads on a swivel. Don't allow anybody to take from you without permission, under any circumstance. And make sure that when people are trying to run your red lights, you're finding them all the time and every time. I'm gonna see y'all in the next one. Take care and stay fine.